Well, hello race fans, and welcome to another edition of the Race Across America, and for the next few days, the Race Across the West Daily Recap. I'm your host, Jarek Wilhelmsen. As the sun rises on their first Ram morning, our solo male racers make their way into Arizona. Our Media One reporter, Jennifer Ann Wilson, is going to tell you all about it. Jennifer?
Jarek, today really couldn't be a more beautiful day to go for a bike ride. We've got blue, beautiful skies, very light traffic, and an amazingly refreshing tailwind that's just pushing our cyclists forward. Now, the Arizona sun is beating down, so everybody's lathering up with their sunscreen, and we've hit quite a few steep climbs today, but overall, our front runners are faring really well. Mark Pattinson wasn't very talkative, but he was focused and riding strong. Matthew Warner-Smith seemed to be feeling a little overwhelmed, actually, and not completely satisfied with his 45-minute nap.
Yeah, about 45 minutes or so. Yeah. Good quality.
A chipper Rob Morlock was just enjoying the day.
Little tailwind, a little cool, not bad.
Now, the dry air and dust really seem to be bothering Gerhardt, but after 4 Rams, he's pretty used to being a little miserable in this stretch of the race. And finally, our lead solo male cyclist, Yuri, has pulled ahead of his competitors quite a bit and doesn't even look winded. He's laughing, smiling, and overall just enjoying the ride. We're heading for the Flagstaff, Arizona time station now, so I will check in with you later. Have fun, guys.
Thanks, Jennifer. It looks hardcore out there. You know, when I talk to people at home about Ram, they often ask me, what charity is that for? Well, the race itself isn't actually for a charity, although many of the racers do race for a charity. One of my favorite examples of that is raw racer Thomas Lavallee from Colorado. He's a former air defense artillery officer in the United States Army. This West Point graduate is staying true to his roots by writing for Children of Fallen Patriots, an organization that provides scholarships and educational counseling to children who have lost one of their parents while serving our country. Thomas, no matter what place you arrive in Durango, you're a winner in my book. And as a fellow Army veteran, I salute you. Now let's check out our leaderboard. As of 9 p.m. race time, starting with our solo females, we have number 376, Michelle Santillano, followed by Barbara Boutois, Sandy Earle, Sabrina Bianchi, and Team Strongheart, Amy Zhu. For our solo males, we have number 273, Yuri Robic, arriving at time station 9 in just 1 day, 3 hours, and 23 minutes. He's followed closely by Gerhard Guluwitz, Rob Morlock, Mark Patterson, and Matthew Warner-Smith. So for the race across the West, we have Thomas Lavallee in first place, having arrived at time station 8 in 1 day, 5 hours, and 16 minutes. He's followed closely by Terry Lansdale, then Mike Wilson. Coming in fourth is Team Taylor for multiple sclerosis, and then Jeffrey Bonk. As the race moves across the country, we're going to distribute our media crews until the teams catch up. We're going to have our Media 2 team covering the back half of the solo field. So let's check in with our Media 2 video journalist, Brendan Martin, to see how things are going back there.
Well, thanks, Jarek. Well, as you know, the Media 2 vehicle was covering the middle to the back half of the men's Raw and Ram today. Winding mountain passes and exposure to the elements were just a few of the challenges these riders had to overcome today as they began their assault on the Arizona mountain range.
Reflective gear?
Yeah, full coverage.
Full coverage?
For an albino like me, that's what I need. We'll see if this works. Even long-fingered gloves in the desert.
Riders were feeling the burn as they began the climb with the infamous 4,000-foot Yarnell grade. Then with only a brief respite before turning around and tackling the 3,000-foot ascent to the top of Mingus Mountain, followed by a 12-mile twist descent that took them through the towns of Jerome and Cottonwood Valley, finally, for some, ending with the time stop in Flagstaff. One rider leaned on his family, friends, and smart nutrition to get him through the day.
How nice is it to have your family with you?
That's the best part.
Yeah.
And of course my friends.
We'll be checking in throughout the night with all the racing action, and I'll be posting a video blog in the morning giving you the updates here from Flagstaff. I'm Brendan Martin with raceacrossamerica.org.
Thanks, Brendan. Now, last night we had a bit of a scare with one of our raw 2-person teams. George Thomas from Team Veloware had a visit to a hospital outside of Blythe, California. Let's check in with him to see what happened.
It was really odd. I had these, kind of started last spring. I started getting these PVCs, which are little blips in your heartbeat, you know, a little skip. And they'd show up when I had exercised really hard, and especially if I had caffeine. All of a sudden, it's just this big rolling feeling in your chest, and I could feel my pulse just racing, and then you can feel it stop. And so I pulled off for an exchange and took my pulse, and I mean, it was racing, and then it would just stop, and then I'd have a beat or two, and then it would stop, and then it would race. And that just wouldn't stop, and it just kept going on and on. And my legs went all weak, and my hands went, I couldn't feel I'm kind of numb. And riders just started going by. It was really, and I just couldn't do anything. I mean, my legs were totally weak. So all that kind of scared me. And we thought, you know, maybe the best thing we should do is stop Tim Case, because he's a firefighter. And his crew was really helpful. As soon as we said something was up, they stopped. And I was like, no, you can't stop. You know, you got your race going on. We want to talk to you when you have some time. And so they assessed me, and Travis, one of the crew members, said, you know, I'm in your van now, and we have to go to the hospital. But we got to the emergency room. They checked us in pretty quick. I had an EKG. They drew blood tests. Kept saying, I really want to get back out. And finally the doctor came in. They made me get in a gown, and he said, all right, I'm going to hook you up to a monitor, and you have to wait here for 4 hours. And then we're going to do another series of blood tests. And Laura, my crew person, was in there with me, and we're kind of looking at each other. And we called my wife, and she said, would you just get on your bike? And so I thought, you know, I'll take a pull, and if something bad happens, that'll make me maybe rethink what we're doing. And I felt great ever since. So.
Well, George, we're glad you're back on your bike and feeling strong. So that's it for this edition of the Race Across America Daily Recap. Remember to check in on our website at raceacrossamerica.org, where you'll see videos, still photography, and written articles about this amazing race. And in the meantime, we'll see you out there on the Race Across America.